Bienvenidos, damas y caballeros. Ya regresamos con la programa del Spider. ¿Quién quiere chingazos?
Hello, everybody. This is Spider here once again. We are in San Antonio, Texas, and I have David Longoria on the studio right now as well. David?
Good morning.
Man, how are you, bro?
Doing well, man. Doing well.
Man, I just want to say that this past weekend, man, I mean, the gym was actually, you guys had open mat Sunday. A lot of people showed up, man. Some ex-UFC fighters, of course, students from other schools. What is it about Sundays that you like? I mean, from everybody, stopping by.
Well, like I said last week, we have that all affiliation policy here, so we don't really, whatever gi you walk in with is right on with us. So we're not. So being inclusive like that, I think, really kind of sets a certain tone, certain vibe when you walk in, and it's something you can feel. You can definitely feel when you walk in a gym and it's like, ooh, cold and sterile, or like, man, you got a little group over here, group over there. It's, nobody says, hey, what's up? Where you from? I mean, it's not that.
Right.
Everybody's ready to welcome you.
No, and one of the things that I had actually talked about too, man, was that, I mean, you yourself, you've been in the game for over 10 years, man.
Yes,
I mean,
sir.
training, competing, and more than likely, you've trained with everybody in San Antonio.
Yes, sir. More than likely, yeah.
So it's
More or
always,
less.
yeah, because everybody goes to their own academy, everybody goes, but I mean, the fact that you know people training in other gyms, other schools, it's actually pretty cool, man, especially when they stop by.
Yeah, it is cool. And then when you see people stop by that you don't know, and then it's like, oh, and you kind of, how they know each other kind of starts to take shape, and that's cool too, to kind of see everybody's back. Oh, Jay gave them their blue belts. Oh, okay. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's cool. Little things like that.
No, for sure. Mm-hmm. I mean, for me, like, especially, I mean, Naga happened over the weekend, man. I didn't make it, but just seeing photos from everybody that participated, it's the same thing as familiar faces, and I mean, a lot of them are black belts now. I mean, it's pretty cool. It's inspiring, and lets you know that, there is that option, man. So definitely something to pursue.
Oh yeah. That's what I'm doing now. I'm not here for. Oh, let's give a shout out to Barbarian, Barbara. She's a competitor here, and she just won a gold at the Worlds.
No, for sure, man, definitely.
Yeah. So congratulations to Barbara.
Congratulations, man, no doubt. Now, yourself, man, you actually are getting ready for your own super fight.
Yes. Yeah, we have all that info down, ready to go. But yeah, getting ready for my own little spotlight. But there's a lot of us that day. That day we got, man, I couldn't tell you. I bet you more than 5 competitors on that.
And it's going to be that night.
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Now, let me ask you, man, because, I mean, we had talked about this the other day and even earlier. You used to compete in amateur mixed martial arts.
I did. Mm-hmm.
Now, getting ready, I mean, it's not just physically, but mentally. I mean, those two things are important, man. I mean, you talked about your walkout to the cage, man. How it was always, was it nerve-wracking? Were you like nervous?
Yeah, I didn't like that shit. Yeah, I would just say, just get me there, and then we'll figure it out. But I think that's part of, like you were saying earlier, you out there taking pictures of the guys, those guys need to get used to it. They need to get used to, people being around and clicking pictures and asking them questions. So yeah, I mean, and that's partly why I'm doing this, just to kind of shake a little bit of the spotlight.
No, for sure, man. And I mean, like we had said also, man, I mean, say you make it to the big show, you're out there, they give you the mic, and you got 10 seconds to say something. I mean, what are you going to say? Like, say, I don't know. Or, so you got to get used to that too, right?
Right.
But let me ask you, man. I mean, back when you were training, for mixed martial arts, what was the hardest thing about you, like, getting ready for it, man? Was it, like, getting to the gym? Was it, I mean, of course, you worked full-time at the time?
Yeah. I would say probably the 30-minute Shark Tanks, just that round robin, probably that, that was one of them. I probably the day in, day out of skipping rope for 3 rounds just to warm up, you know what I mean? Just probably that,
And back then, of course, I mean, you were training with Jamie Miller.
Yes.
And I mean, back then there was monsters in your gym, bro.
There was sharks everywhere. That was definitely fortunate enough to rub elbows with a lot of those guys.
Oh, yeah. And one of them was actually Adam Schindler, man.
Yeah,
I mean, he was one of the guys that moved up and moved on. I mean, the guy's always been a stud.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, right now he's got his own fitness company going. So congratulations on that, man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now let me ask you, bro. For those that are getting into the game, I mean, what would you say? Like, obviously they got to come in here and train. I mean, you're not going to get better without, getting some training in. But for those that are training and say, you know what, they want to fight, what would you tell them?
Well, consistency. I think that's a huge. Probably the main thing is showing up every day.
In the days you don't want to.
Yeah, for real. I've had a couple of days in the past couple of weeks. Just man, I don't want to be there. I don't want to show up. But you drag yourself in here and you just put one foot in front of the other.
Oh, for sure. Mm-hmm. Now let me ask you this: going back to you, was there ever? Because how many times did you fight?
MMA. I think I went 1-3.
Now, was there any of those fights? Did you ever show up to the fight on fight day and think like, damn, I don't feel like fighting?
Yeah, right. Yes.
See, how does that work, man? Because for me, it's just like, if I have to go to work and I'm like, damn, I don't want to go to work, and you drag ass the rest of the day. So was that basically it?
Maybe, maybe. But I know that wasn't, when I got into the game, I was 30 years old already. Right. I had no, how do you say, when you're delusions of thinking, I'm going to go and be a UFC guy. I'm going to go be a champ. Right. If you're not going to do that, or if that's not your goal, then why? Every fighter that I've trained with, that's their goal is to be go.
Man. Go to the top.
Right. So I think that right there was maybe a huge, off on the wrong foot, just knowing that, hey, this is, so, half cold, man, kind of lukewarm,
right.
You know what I mean? And so I think that was, probably put me, halfway out the door. Right. Oh. So yeah, I didn't, and I looked good here and there, and it's like, oh man, that was nice, all right, you ready to fight again? We got another one in 30. It's like, dude, no, I'm not trying to go nowhere with this. You know what I mean?
You just wanted to test yourself.
I enjoyed being on the mats. It was healthy for me. I said last week I was stopping drinking, and what I mean, so that kept me busy. Yeah.
Now let me ask you, with this next tournament coming up, I mean, obviously you still want to keep testing yourself.
Yes.
Now, mentally wise, man, as far as like going into it with your as far as your game plan, when you're in a hot spot, like say even here at the gym, I mean, obviously you know tricks and you know reversals and you know everything. But are you at that point where you kind of like stay calm and see where your opening is at?
Yeah, I hope so. Shit, I hope so. But that's another reason, like we've talked about before. When I would get back on the mats or reintroduce myself to the mats again, to the game, I'd get in these horrible spots with talented people who are doing it every day and competing. So, in those, when I'm in a bind like that, I can, keep it together and revert back to step one.
Right. Now, let me say on this one, the tournament coming up, and that we're talking about as far as you stepping on the mat, it's going to be November 5th. It's going to happen here in San Antonio, and it is Submission Hunter Pro 75. Now, the fact that it's here at home, is that good for you, man?
Oh, I haven't thought about that too much. I don't know any of them people either. You know what I mean? For the most part, I mean, no, everybody's stranger. The crowd's still strangers. You know what I mean? And you're still amongst other competitors, and yeah. So other than hey, what's up? I mean, it could be in Timbuktu, bro. Like it's the same.
You wouldn't notice it. Now, is that part of the the game plan or your as far as your walking into the ring, kind of like you said, walking into the cage. I mean, you kind of like blank everybody out and just step on the mat and you do what you got to do.
Right. That's our aim here. Right.
Now, as well as yourself, man. I mean, there's going to be other from your team competing, including your instructor, man, Jacob Landon. Man, he's going to be on there. So let me ask you, who's going to be in your corner, man? Who's going to be helping you that day?
Jake said that it was going to be him. So.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now you gonna I
think he's gonna, and he's going on right after me. So he's gonna have to. So
he's just gonna stay on the mat.
He's gonna walk me out with his gi on.
Now on this one, it will be with the gi.
Mine
gi or no gi?
Is no gi. Yeah, mine is no gi. His, I don't know.
Now, as far as here you train both, right? I mean, you've been training with the gi and without.
No, I've been solely gi, purely gi.
And on this, I mean, are you getting ready for it as far as without the gi? Been training with some of the guys from here?
Yeah. I mean, I have to say yes, right?
Yes, sir. I hope so, man.
Yeah.
I'll delete that from the
right.
podcast. Now, I'm gonna be there, man. I'm gonna actually go. I doubt they'll let me cover it. Who knows? But I will be there, and I'm interested, man, because on a lot of these, like I said, I'm gonna see a lot of familiar faces. Some people, of course, when it comes to fighting as well, they know each other, and it's kind of hard for me to watch because somebody's got to win and somebody's got to lose. But with jiu-jitsu, it's kind of different, man, because, I mean, you learn. I mean, in MMA, you learn as well. But submission, of course, is less injuries. God forbid something bad happens. But it's just, like you said, you get to congratulate your opponent and move on, man. So with that being said, man, after this, are you looking at competing again this year? Next year?
Yeah. Actually, that's not on my radar.
Oh, okay, but you're going to get this one done and then see where you are.
Yeah, I suppose.
Problem, man.
Yeah, I'm not, I try not to think about tomorrow, really,
Well, let me ask you, bro, when it comes to your students here, I mean, of course, you're the morning instructor.
Right.
And you're here in the mornings and you see guys, and we had talked about this before, they come in with no experience. I mean, do you tend to kind of be a little bit more lenient and kind of show them because obviously they don't know what a guard is, for example?
Yeah, man. Of course, they. I think they are much more. Sorry about that. Much more pliable than somebody who has experience. Right. Somebody who's created a bad habit, picked it up somewhere. It's worked for them for so long, and it's like that's not going to get you far here. So trying to rinse some of that out, or give them, give them some options, some other options to add to their game, maybe. So somebody with no experience is nice, fresh, clean, block of wood.
Your own technique, of course.
Oh yeah. That's the only thing I'm going to show. Mm-hmm.
And now let me ask you, because the fact that you just said that, man, it actually. It goes back to when I started training, and we had talked about this before, man. It's a lot of it was aggressive. A lot of it was, I was told many times that it wasn't jiu-jitsu because there was no technique. I mean, I would pass guard, but it was just out of pure grit and freaking strength.
Yeah.
But I mean, you have a point, because somebody that's aggressive and using strength more than technique, man, after a while you're gonna find somebody technical and it ain't gonna work, man.
Yeah.
Now, have you ever had that problem as far as say guys that come in with a wrestling experience?
Yeah. Wrestling, wrestling was big over at Powerhouse. It was a staple over there. Also, and then a lot of us migrated to Ohio. Jason was, doing his thing in his laboratory. So I was just, man, I really was fortunate enough to just be a fly on the wall through a lot of that mix, right. With a lot of those guys. But yeah, I'm pretty comfortable in the scramble. I like to scramble. There's a time and a place for it. Right. And for me at 46 years old, it's not every day. I'm not gonna do that.
No, you see, and I mean,
I might go around and shadow spar, play grab ass with the MMA guys. You know what I mean? But bro, those youngins have trounce, just walk right through me if they wanted to. You know what I mean? I'm not going to work that hard today. You know,
No,
I'm not.
no, exactly, man.
You know, I'm here to try and help and, you know, aid you in your goals.
Right.
But so as far as me, my training, my what I'm doing for myself, my game, my goals, it's in the gi.
No, for sure, man. And like you said, man, because we had talked about this before also. I mean, the fact that, like, I mean, there's plenty of guys from back in the day that want to get back into the whole, you know, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or grappling. And, I mean, of course, I mean, they're not going to come in here like when they were 20, 30 years ago, you know, at age, you know, because we're older, man. We don't recover as fast.
No.
And
a little bit of airs out of that basketball, right?
No, yeah, there you go, man. Yeah, man, because, like I said, I mean, before I'd fall down, you know, I used to roll up and get back up, man. Now if I fall, I take a nap, bro. You know, when I wake up, I get up. So it's a lot different, man. But, I mean, the trick is not to stop moving.
It is.
You know, I mean, as we get older, of course, you know, our muscles get weaker. We lose a lot of muscle. Bones get, you know, a little bit weaker. But, I mean, it's the trick, man, is to come in here. You know, I mean, for the guys that you have talked to and you want to bring in here, what do you have to say, man?
I'm sorry. What guys to
no,
bring
well,
in?
As far as like say you had mentioned you had talked to some of your old guys that, you know, from the old team training anymore, and say they want to come in here and their ego's too big and they're like,
yeah, you know, my advice to men would be small bites. You know, small bites. Don't come, you know, ooh man, I feel good this week. Man, I put together a good week. Well, that, you know, that might give you the green light or some idea that you're going to put together some sort of, you know, no, I think you got to modify your diet. You got to modify how your sleep, you know, and then definitely for me, I'm not pulling 4 2-a-days a week. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Now, being said, man, because like you said, I mean, we had talked about this before also. You went to go work in the oil field. I mean, when you were coming back in between breaks, I mean, you were training at Ohana and teaching. I mean, for those even now, I mean, not so much that they have excuses because, you know, everybody has to work, everybody has kids, you know, we have family. But, I mean, it's to make time, you know?
Yeah, make time. You know, you do sacrifice, you know, leaving them boys out there doing good, you know, picking up rigs, making money, so good for them. But for me, I had to come home. I had to sacrifice that to accomplish what I was looking for, what I'm looking for.
For sure, man, because, I mean, instead of making money, you're making memories. So, I mean, definitely, you know, I see your kids here with you half the time.
All the time, yeah.
And that's, you know, beautiful, man, because you can bring him in here and he can see what you're doing. Maybe he'll get inspired and, and start a podcast, not jiu-jitsu.
And, you know, and that's the other thing, you know, coming home out there, you know, the money's good and everything, but I see my kids 10 days a month. And that's great and all, but when it's school, you don't see it, you know what I mean? So, man, you don't really, I worked at, I was a welder over at Toyota, and making the best money I could make here at home. Right. And, but the rotating schedule every 2 weeks, bro, 6 to 6, oh, man. At least 6 days a week, right? So I was like, man, I'm going back to the oil field.
Oh yeah, man. When I worked at the post office, that was an option. I had actually applied, got to my second interview, but the rotating shift was what killed it, man, for me, because I was like, man, I couldn't do that. I mean, there's no way. I'd be mentally tired and I wouldn't be ready for it. Now, let me ask you, man, as far as, like you said, with you training here, I mean, of course, it's going to be you instructing in the mornings,
yes,
right?
6 a.m., 7:30 a.m.
And that's
Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Right, and then of course this Monday you guys were closed for the holiday.
Yes, we were.
Now, for those listening and say, like you said before, man, they want to come in and just kind of, you know, give it a test run. I mean, they're more than welcome.
Absolutely, please come in. Just walk in. The same way some of us have to just put one foot in front of the other and whatever. You know, we're going through the same shit. Something's driving you to walk, to do something like that, to get on some mat somewhere. Something's, you know, pushing you or nudging you that way. Just, you know, not gonna give you a nice clean pair of tennis shoes and shave your head and drink the Kool-Aid, you know. Come in, you know, it's open arms and we're ready to, you know, ready to make a lot of create a lot of relationships here. We're new. Sure, we're new in the area, and I like that we're kind of like in the middle of everybody, so we're pretty accessible to, anybody. All highways come here.
Oh, yeah, man, definitely. Right. I mean, I-10, 35, 37.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the things for me, because I do live in the neighborhood, man, I mean, I go the back road. So it's like getting home after a session. I mean, I can go home in less than 10 minutes, man.
I had to come here on the back roads. I had to go Colorado. I had to go up to, cut through that way because there was no way I was going to get,
Now, when it comes to you, man, I mean, let me ask you. I mean, of course, on this next, competition you have coming up, like you said, you're not looking past that, of course,
But yes, competition is is definitely in my future. I just I'm just not interested in thinking about that right now. I'm thinking about this cat that's coming in. He's trying. I know the cat's in the gym, and so I'm assuming some mix between Roger Gracie and Marcelo Garcia. That's what I'm preparing for.
Oh, for sure. I mean, of course, your opponent is a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yes.
This will be no-gi, so of course, I mean, you have years and years of experience, man.
I got a lot of experience in no-gi as well.
Yeah, so it's a test for sure.
Yes, sir.
Now, let me ask you, bro. I mean, we wanted to bring up a couple of fights, man, and one of them we had actually talked about earlier was an unfortunate incident, man. This was for the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship.
Yeah.
And it happened a few weeks back. Now, it was the unfortunate death of Thornton. I mean, the man was 36 years of age. He lost via KO and was taken to the hospital that evening and passed away. Now, it is full contact. I mean, this could easily happen in full contact karate tournaments. It could happen in boxing, and it has. But for something like that, man, I mean, for those that want to fight, I mean, it's just finished, but it is out there. Now, what are your thoughts on something like that, man? I mean, is this something that can be regulated? I mean, or because they can go in there with headgear, but
I don't think so, man. I mean, it's sanctioned. You know what I mean? It's so there's medicals, there's blood work, there's testing. So I mean, no, I don't think that there's. I think every precaution you could take has been taken. They wrap their wrist for the wrist's sake. You know what I mean? For their hand's sake, not for the sake of the. I didn't see the fight, so I can't really give an opinion. Did it go on too long? Was it did he go out right away? Did he take too much punishment? But man, that does happen. It happens.
No, it does.
Hank Gathers, you were talking. Hank Gathers, college basketball back in the '90s. Had a heart attack. Made a play, and on his way back up court, had a heart attack. Died. So I don't. Yeah.
Oh, well, like I said, it's an unfortunate accident, man. Incident that happened. Now, let me ask you another topic I wanted to bring up, man, was actually something that happened a few weeks back for Combate Global, and that was a transgender MMA fighter, man. Now, this was a man that transitioned into a woman, ended up fighting a woman. A lot of people were against it. Some were for it. What are your thoughts on that?
Probably, well, the question's a little flawed. And I don't know if he transitioned into a woman. I think it's a man beating up on a. You're gonna get me in trouble here. I think it's a man beating up on a woman. Is what I think.
Oh yeah, and like I said, I mean, for me, I'm not for it. I mean, I wouldn't watch it. I wouldn't pay to watch it. I mean, that's just my mindset. But I mean, a lot of people, they were on there. I mean, Combate Global. I mean, of course, it was sanctioned in Florida. Transgender Alana McLaughlin. I mean, she went through the process of getting, blood work. She was,
which is interesting because wouldn't her test just be, such an advantage? I mean, the blood work it's in the blood work, wouldn't it be?
Well, from what I had read, I mean, she had already gone through the hormones.
Oh, really?
So she had already taken them.
See, this is why I should have just not said shit.
No. But you know what? It's a thought, man.
You know, I think, hey, dude, do what you want, man. I'm all about say what you want, do what you want, as long as it's not, you know, as long as everybody's, you know, not against anybody's free will. Have at it. I don't, like you said, I don't have to buy it. I don't have to watch it or participate in it. You know?
Yeah, you see, and those are my thoughts exactly, man. Like, I mean, I heard about it. I didn't see it. I watched the highlights afterwards just to see exactly how it happened. I mean, when they came to her matchup, Alana. Now they actually had to fly an opponent in from Paris, France, I believe, man, because nobody here in the States wanted to fight. You know, so that was kind of like one of those. You know, if it wouldn't have been for that one opponent, it wouldn't have happened. But like I said, man, I mean, this is not to stir the pot or anything, but it's just, you know, it's happening, man. It went on. It might happen again.
Yeah, it probably will happen again. Yeah, the Olympics too. I remember. I was like, man, what? You know, it was a transitioned woman. It was a 36-year-old man. You know. Powerlifting, shattering records. I mean,
we'll figure that out.
So I don't know, man. But I wish him the best. I wish everybody the best. I'm not gonna bash or hope against your goals for yourself just because it's not my slice of pie.
No, exactly, man. And that's kind of the thing now because everybody on social media gets offended. I mean, if you don't like mustard, boom, everybody blows up, right?
How could you?
Yeah, I know exactly. It's like, man, why not? I mean, I'm a mustard person, bro, so hey, don't start, bro, because...
Hey, when I was young, I didn't like mustard when I was a kid. Today, man, I love mustard.
No, yeah, I'm the same way, man. I mean, I eat my fries with mustard, you name it, man. It's a good thing, bro. Pancakes, I'm joking. No. But with that being said, man, I mean, this is going to be a rough episode, man. We are going to come back hopefully this week. Yeah,
man. Yeah, whenever. You know, I'm here if shit.
No, for
we'll
sure,
just stay
man.
in touch and then sorry about that. We'll try to line it up, but I'm sure we can land sometime this week.
And I mean, there's a couple of things coming up with the UFC. I mean, Bellator, of course, Chris Cyborg, I want to talk about. The UFC December 11th card is stacking up beautifully. I'm looking forward to that. And we'll see what else we can scramble up and talk about, man.
We got to call out old Aaron Suarez, man.
And I'm glad you mentioned the man because I did message him, and he said he'll be here Friday.
Oh, okay. Then we're doing it Friday.
Yes,
what time? Did you ask him what time?
Morning.
Okay, then we're doing it Friday morning. Okay.
Yes, sir. So hopefully, Aaron, if
I'll
you're
just
listening,
be done with my 2 classes. And tell him he can get a free class. I'll let him.
There you go, man.
He'll get a free mat session.
And just so you know, Aaron, you got to bring tacos, bro, because otherwise we'll have to charge you for parking. Hey, man, I do appreciate you once again, bro. Thank you for stopping by.
Thank you, Mario. For sure. We'll talk to you later this week.
Yes, sir. Now, everybody out there, this is Spida, the Fight Card Podcast. Once again, subscribe to the YouTube channel. More episodes coming up. And for those locals, stop by, message me, and let's get something going. Till next time. Follow up.